Good tidings, friends, and welcome to the first episode of Xehashorts, because we like horrible puns here. A recommendation from Venfriend for doing quick little snippets of shitpost theories and other short things to talk about and to give a name to things for segments like that little Kingdom Hearts ditty we did for the Kingdom Hearts, well, it's all Kingdom Hearts ditties, the Kingdom Hearts 3 ditty with the new trailer. And all of that. So, since I'm limited to my phone for the time being, and I'm really sick of not being able to post anything without the computer, I'm able to actually record things on my phone more regularly now, as I've mentioned. I'm going to be trying to bring you some derpy little videos that require little to no editing, so I can post them for you, and less dress and makeup, as you can see. Although eventually I would like the Xehashorts episodes to involve a Nort, not that I have one or multiple cosplays of Norts, because I don't have a problem. But anyway, today's just going to be a short little thing. I was talking to Ven about Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff and about the revelation that the story for the plot of the visit to Toy Story is going to be considered canon to Toy Story. And we already knew that Big Hero 6's Kingdom Hearts plot was going to be considered canon in Disney lore as well, which is a new thing, and it seems like they might be doing this for all of the movies, especially the newer ones. It made more sense for Big Hero 6 because, like, the idea of a random spiky-haired child with a giant key showing up in San Francisco makes a lot more sense than random Sora toy. I mean, not that we're not getting into things making sense in Kingdom Hearts, but, the point being, it fits the genre better to have some random other hero kid show in, since it was originally a Marvel comic, than, say, a random toy showing up in Toy Story, whether it's Sora or someone else in general. But that aside, we were thinking about that and the implications of the worlds, and we thought of something very interesting. Now, some of us are still people who irrationally hate Frozen. I personally, I'm not going to pretend I'm not judging you for irrationally hating Frozen, because I don't. Stop hating it just because it's popular. I know it gets annoying when little kids sing the songs at you, and I'm sorry if you had to deal with that, but it was an okay movie. It wasn't the best movie. It wasn't the worst movie. So, but that's a different debate. So I know there are a lot of mixed feelings. The point is, there are a lot of mixed feelings about Frozen's, let's all admit it, inevitable, presence in Kingdom Hearts 3. And a lot of people don't want it in because of its Frozenness. I want it, not, regardless of my actual opinions of the movie itself. I think that the lessons learned in that movie by the characters and the morals that it presents tie in very well with themes that need to be addressed in Kingdom Hearts 3. Also, I like making fun of Riku for basically being Elsa. So, that's why I want it. I want someone to just go around singing Let It Go, but replacing snow with darkness. That's what I want. But while we were thinking about that, we had an interesting thought. And that was, for those of you who don't know, who are more Square fans than Disney, or even if you're a Disney fan, don't spend all your time thinking really hard about Disney lore because you actually have a life. There is a very tiny cameo in Frozen of, Rapunzel and Flynn showing up to Elsa's coronation. You can watch this clip on the internet by people, or even in one of the game theorists did a theory involving Anna and Elsa and Rapunzel and all of that, which is great. You should go watch them. But they address that cameo too. It is canon to Disney that Arendelle and I don't remember the name of Rapunzel's the official name, because it's not said in the movie, I don't think, like Arendelle is. But her kingdom exists in the same world, and that it was very likely that the parents died on that boat going to visit Rapunzel's kingdom. And that's what they were doing on that boat, and that it's literally, like, located across the sea right over there from where Arendelle is. which is all well and good and doesn't seem like it'd be that important until I realized in a Kingdom Hearts setting, every movie is its own world. So what are they going to do with that? Has secretly Frozen been officially confirmed this entire time because it and Rapunzel's world will actually be the same world with how ridiculously large they're going to be made? Because if you watched that trailer, you saw Sora going from the city, I think it's technically Thebes, I don't remember, to, actual Colosseum, to up the mountain to the very top of Olympus itself, and for all we know, the underworld is going to be up in that bitch too, so that is huge! Absolutely huge! And is there enough, locations in Rapunzel or Frozen alone to I mean, you probably could bullshit it, but maybe they combine those two worlds to get more bang for their buck. I don't think that's that likely, but, what's their solution to that question because I was like, well, I guess that means the Rapunzel plot's gonna be canon too, especially with all of the little shorts and the TV shows and they're doing with Frozen and Rapunzel. So if they plan on making Sora's visits their canon, they have to keep in with the idea that those two places exist on that same world and deal with that. Now, we're not dealing with, Sophia the First metaphysics, which would open an entire new can of worms with the idea of a random necklace that could magically summon all of the princesses of hearts at once. For those of you who watch Sophia the First, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, I know it's a kid show. The first couple of episodes are super smooth, but it is amazing, and I'm cosplaying from it because I have a problem. Also watch Elena of Avalor, because they're connected and stuff. But anyway, that opens a whole bag of metaphysics worms, is metaphysics worms, and implying that all of the princesses, all of those movies happen in the same close enough connected place, or that it's obvious Sophia knows all of these people, so at least they know about them in their history, but, there's a huge plot hole where they're mermaids don't exist, but then when Ariel shows up, she's like, I totally knew Ariel existed and was a thing, and I was like, how do you know that if you didn't think mermaids existed before this? I don't understand. So is she they don't talk about it, but they, don't talk about it enough that it's technically not a plot hole. But I'm getting sidetracked because this isn't supposed to be a post about Sophia the First. This is supposed to be a plot post about the metaphysics of what they're doing with Frozen and Tangled, since they're supposed to take place in the same place, and the likelihood that they would want to make Sora's visits to those places canon seems very likely. So this could mean, surprisingly, Frozen won't be in Kingdom Hearts 3, which would literally blow me away. I would be very shocked at that decision, or that those worlds have to be connected somehow, or they have to give an explanation, or maybe because they already addressed time working differently on the different worlds, them saying something like, oh yeah, we can't get to Arendelle anymore and we don't know why, because it happened when the worlds got separated in the time, but if the time works so slow there, then Sora showing up for 5 minutes would fuck everything over with all the other worlds, so it's I know it's a little tiny thing, but to me it's this super big, interesting, potential little thing they could do. Or, they could just ignore the fact that that's technically officially canon, that those two places are supposed to interact, and leave them as separate worlds, even though, since they're both newer things, it's easier to get away with fudging the older stuff, because they can just go, it's old stuff. But since this is something that they're doing now, and they're obviously trying to incorporate Sora into the newer movie stuff better, and come up with better world plots that are less obligatory side quest filler, to help tease the main plot through the game longer, and more actual stories for you to enjoy, it's interesting. So that's our little theory for the day. Our mini theory is, what are the ramifications of Arendelle and Rapunzel's kingdom being connected in the idea of putting it in the setting and the metaphysics of Kingdom Hearts. So you think on that. I'll be back with another mini theory or key video sometime in the coming days, and remember, save your tears, because I'll be back.